I hope you can hear me okay. Oh my gosh. I also don't know if you can hear music in the background or what the leveling's like, because I discovered as I went to set up the stream today that because I updated my computer, the system that I use to play audio from my computer does not work on streams anymore. So that's my bad for not testing that in advance. Can't hear anything in the background? All right then. Well, I'm afraid it's just going to have to be an awkward, quiet stream because I couldn't figure it out in time. I'm going to need to download something new. So you can just play your own music in the background. How about? And I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, nice to see so many people here. I'm just going to pop out the chat so that I can make sure I see all that. Today's plan is we are going to review some portfolios. There also is going to be time to look at, answer some questions that you have. Yeah, I don't know. I'm here hanging out. My partner's away for work this week, and I thought, why not do an evening stream after I finish work and hang out with the co-working club, make the great return, which, yeah, thank you all for your patience with me while I needed some time off of streaming. First of all, I needed time off because my beloved cat Nora passed away, and then it just got I got out of the habit of thinking about streaming, you know how it goes. Okay, let's move this over here. Get set up. How are you all? It's so nice to see some co-working club members in the chat. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart for continuing to be a channel member despite the fact I haven't streamed for ages. Yeah, your support means so much, and it's just really exciting to see that there's still those cool little purple stamps there. Yeah. Okay. Closing down my last things from my attempts to quickly fix the sound issues. Have we got any co-working club members in the chat who have submitted their portfolio for review? Because I definitely want to get to you all first. I'm going to go take a look, skim through it right now for some names that I might recognize. Ooh, did I link to the place where you can actually leave? How do I even see my own YouTube video? Is there a link in the description to a form? Can you see that? I hope so. Let me have a look. Yes, I got a new lens for my camera, so that's what you're seeing that's different there. Okay, I did not leave a link. Let me go edit the description real quick to add the link to the form directly now. I wanted to try capture people's email addresses to know who would be attending, beforehand. But give me 1 second. Okay, I'm going to edit the description of the video now, so you might need to refresh, or I'll drop it in the chat too, so that then it's just new people can find it in the description. Okay, here it comes in the chat. That is the Google form. Chloe, you can submit now. Submit now. Yeah, feel free to submit throughout this. We're going to go through as many as we can. And yeah, Osaru, this is what my background looks like in the evenings because it's dark outside. And so these lights are on all the time in all the co-working club streams. Well, usually, if I remember to turn them on. But yeah, now they actually show up, which is cool. Okay, need a new window. I really should have cleaned up my desktop. I'm gonna do a quick, do you want to watch me do it? Do you want to see this embarrassment? Let's just do it, shall we? Boom, this is what we're dealing with. So just to not annoy you all throughout this whole time, I'm going to gather it all and move it into this folder for now. We should start to see them disappear. Oh no, did I just freeze my computer by doing that? Boom. Okay, that's better, isn't it? Shoot, I've lost my chat window now. Clearly out of practice. Where did that go? is really a normal desktop. It's normal for me. Asaro! Member for 9 months! 9 months! That's amazing. I think that's the whole time I've been doing the co-working club, right? Okay. Let's get into it. Start looking for some names. So I know Chris is here. I saw Chris in the chat, and I know Chris is a co-working club member. So let's start with Chris. Okay. So we'll use this one as an example of how this is going to go. They're going to be pretty quick. And the way that I'll be doing it is kind of like someone who is reviewing your portfolio to like move you on to the next round, or perhaps if it's a client who's deciding if they want to contact you for their work, for their project, I mean, they're going to spend a very, very rapidly look at your portfolio and go by their first impressions. And so that's what I'm going to do here as well. Yeah. Oh, you missed a month though, sorry. Well, we'll forgive that for sure. So let's start with Chris. Chris says that he wants feedback to land a design job. It's always really important for me to know what you're aiming for as I'm giving feedback, because the feedback I would give if you're looking for clients versus looking to land a job would be different. So yeah, we know that. I'm going to put my camera. Can I move this wall? Nope, I apparently cannot. I want to sit over this side just so I'm like looking at the portfolio when I look at you. I hope that updated on the stream. There we go. Oh, 9 months for Atakan too. We love it. Okay, so Chris says looking for visual UI design for web products, mostly for B2B admin interfaces. So let's jump in and take a look at Chris's portfolio. So first impression is that this seems like a really unique design. This is what's coming to mind first. You know, often we see a portfolio and we've got like a few project squares first. So this header section is quite different. I like the, yeah, I just like this UI that you've designed here because it does feel quite different. I did instinctively try and click on one of these. I thought it was going to take me to like examples of that work because I wanted, of course, to click on marketing design. Yeah, no, I'm looking at the chin. I love it. Let's move me over here a bit. There we go. But that's okay. That might be a tip. Maybe you could link that off to a category or something like that. So then I scroll down. Books. My first thought is you designed this book or you wrote this book? And because I know Chris, I know that Chris wrote this book and you can see it there. But because this is a design portfolio, or at least that's the context I'm reviewing it in, that was my first thought, was that Chris designed this book, which we all know the For Dummies style of design is not like, I don't know, it's iconic, so it stays the same, but I wouldn't exactly call it like groundbreaking and great design. So because Chris said specifically looking for UI design for web products, then we'll go into this section. Lease tracker and energy trader. So the first impression of this one is that I feel like the UI feels very heavy and dense, and it's not, I don't know. He said B2B products, so that could make sense, but it feels like more of a UX task to me, this one here. Let's look at this one here because it seems more visually attractive to me. So that's what I want to look at. Love this continuation of the giant heading. And this is quite a nice little navigation item too. So I'm just noticing that the portfolio itself is nicely designed. Cool. We've got some good little short details here. I love the length of the context you've given and the way you've spelled it out. It's great. To the brand, typography. These sections are like interesting as I'm scrolling through, which is nice. It's interesting to see you start with the logo, typography, and colors when I know you're looking for UI design work, and that's like more on the branding side. So that's just something to note there. Page elements. I like that Chris is calling out what he was intending to do. Nice, and this is a great example of yeah, the solution that he found. Cool. So from scrolling this, I think even though it started with the typography and logo and colors, which in my mind is like not UI designer things, I think Chris then saved it by calling out these specific like choices that he made in the UX and the UI to make this product function for the needs. So that was a good save there, Chris, but maybe I would consider moving these parts down a bit. I haven't been looking at the chat while doing this, but yeah. Yeah, good point, Paul. Are you looking for new book projects or new design work? Although I do like having in there that you wrote a book, but I would just maybe not put it on equal level with your UI design work in your portfolio. It's cool that you wrote the book though, Chris. Like, it's pretty good. And then you've got multiple books, so that's pretty cool. Maybe it needs to be another, like, you have your work here, and like, because when you go in here, there's only 2 projects, I would not even have them on a separate page. I would just have them out there for people to click on. Maybe there's another block that'd be like, I also write technical books to help people do blah, blah, blah. And talk about the books there. Could be an option. All right, who is next? Let me jump in and see. And keep in mind that I'm reviewing names, usernames that I see in the chat. So this is turning out to be harder than I expected to actually find people who are in the chat in the sheet. I don't know, if anyone has an idea of a better system for next time to do this, that would be great. But YouTube doesn't let you drop links in, so yeah. Bilal, did you submit? Let me search for your name in my sheet. I see you. Okay, we'll do you next. Okay. Here's Bilal. They've given a Dribble portfolio. Goal is to land a design job. Right, currently working on building Behance and personal website. So this is the portfolio for now. Cool. I've lost my mouse. There we go. Okay, so what did Bilal, what kind of work? Like to work in a product design role, currently with no preference about the industry. Cool, okay. So I definitely see a lot of product stuff first off, which is great, and you've called yourself a product designer up there as well. So I think you're firmly like landing yourself in that category. My first impression is that the quality of this work visually seems pretty high. And because you've said UX design and research, a lot of the time I find UX designers who, like people who call themselves that and who specialize in UX design, aren't as strong on the visual side. And so immediately I'm intrigued because I'm like, you're saying you focus on UX design and research, or like that's the side of product design you work on, and yet your visuals are really strong. I'm going to click on this one to look into in detail because it's purple. Okay. I think that you've done a really creative, you've done really creative dribble shots as well, which is really nice. And because this is a dribble portfolio, I guess it's a little hard to evaluate it on the same level as Chris's, because you're not providing a case study here, right? So that's something to keep in mind. But it does seem like you have good volume of work that I can go through, which is nice also. Concept for a file transfer app. Cool. I think you've given like enough detail for a dribble project, but and I think that this is definitely enough detail for like a junior or mid type of design role. But I think anything senior or above, people would be looking for much more detail about the project scope, the problems, all that sort of thing. So yeah, just keep that in mind for the future. But I based on this, I feel like I would move you forward for a junior or a mid role, because all of these layouts look like, with that, I'm doing first impressions here. I'm not closely inspecting all the pixel perfection of everything, but it looks like you've got a high quality of craft. And yeah, the way you've laid them out is really cool. I would advise you, as you work on, because you said you're working on a website and a Behance, you've got a lot of work here, and the few I've clicked on so far seem to mostly be explorations, which is fine. I would pick 1 or 2 of your favorites to go into more detail on. And if you have anything in here that is real client work, then that would be the thing to go in for as well. make sure that you've got the real projects in there alongside the, work you've done off your own back, because a real world project is a very different experience than just designing for yourself. But yeah, great level of craft that I'm seeing here. So this is awesome, Bilal. Keep it up. And maybe in a future stream, you'll have your site ready and we can go into that too. Okay, who is next? I saw Anna's. Okay. Please feel free to tell me if I'm saying your name wrong also. Okay. Anna says, goal is to get more freelance clients. Okay, cool. So this is a bit of a different goal, which is cool. And to grow reputation, audience as a designer. Love it. Focusing on web design and product design, and asked, is it important to create a case study, or wait, I just clicked on it. Or should I just show my work just like I did in my portfolio just now? Let's dive in and take a look. So yeah, I noticed this. I'm going to reload this because I noticed the animation happening. Oh, interesting. So that only happened on first load, and then obviously I was saved as a cookie. But yeah, that's a really cool animation. Definitely eye-catching straight away to have that there. It's like a really, really nice touch. Meet the designer. This is again a cool layout, just like Chris's, where it's like doing something a little bit differently to the standard portfolio. I will say that leading with design tools is not very compelling. I think that as a designer, you should really be able to use any tool to bring your ideas to life. Like the tool itself doesn't matter. It does in the sense that if you use Sketch and you join a team that uses Figma, you have to use Figma. Like it matters in that way. But I think that if you use Sketch, you can learn how to use Figma very easily. So I would maybe instead lead here with like a list of your attributes as a designer. Like, yeah, what makes you special? What do you like focusing on? What's your like design philosophy? Anything like that, I think would be a better thing to lead with than design tools. Development is a little bit different. I don't know about Elementor, but I know that people do hire people to specifically develop in Webflow. Ooh, we got a typo here, so watch out for that, Anis. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. What do I actually do? These illustrations are really cool. See, I would put this, maybe like a smaller version of these icons up the top instead of going with this. Like maybe you could have 3 strips here. Yeah, instead of the design tools. And this is showing me a design without showing me like what went into it. Was it purely visual? Like you purely just changed the visuals, or was there more goals around it? Yeah, I think a little more details there would be good. I also don't know what IC Qual is. Oh, right, that's the brand name. Because up here you'd said for startup IT company, I assumed that you were just naming like categories of companies rather than actual names. So that's something to note. Oh, that's cool. I like this button design as well. Okay. This, avoid. Don't blame things on the client. If the, like, yeah, sure, sometimes the client insists on things, but no, you can't blame things on them. It's like, often it's a failing on us as designers for not having properly educated them on what the right solution is. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes they're just gonna do what they want anyway, but don't point it out right here in the introduction, I think. I like that you've showed both the mobile and the desktop version as well, though. It's nice. Okay, so one thing I'm going to say, because you said that you also wanted to develop your reputation and like audience as a designer, the only place we see like somewhere we can follow you is right down here at the bottom, and this is a very long page. Oh no, it's up the top as well. I missed that. Okay. Oh yeah, I mean, I missed it. So I would say if that's what you want, include something in here about the type of content you make, include links to follow you right here in the intro, because this caught my eye and I just didn't even notice up there. Yeah. Yeah, great point. Sorry, the comment can come up in constraints rather than in the introduction, where like that was a constraint you had to deal with, and like what design decisions did you make to, you know, allow this ETA to be that length? Because it doesn't. You've done it well. It's well balanced here in the header. Okay, who should we go on to next? Ahmed. I'm going to pick on you because I saw your name. It stood out to me in the in the spreadsheet. Let me close some things so my computer doesn't get too overwhelmed. Okay, so Ahmed is looking to land a design job. Looking for something in product design, UX design. So far I'm confused on what particular industry to apply for, but I know my end goal is to work at Google. We love a dream. Love it. You can help me take a look at my portfolio from your view, give advice. Cool. Okay. So you're looking for basically building up your product and UX design work so that you can one day reach that dream of landing at Google. Love it. Let's take a look. In WordPress web developer, interesting. These two things, so if you're looking to do product design at Google as your end goal, I don't think Google needs anyone to be a WordPress web developer, if that makes sense. Gotta remember to hydrate if I want to keep being able to talk for like at least another hour. Yeah, something is going on here with these thumbnails. Let me click accept. I think you should have the project details just available without having to hover, because I'm just looking at a big gray space and something feels broken. And same with this. Let me do the shrinky thing. No, even when you shrink this down, this logo is not centered. So yeah, just think about the formatting of your images. Oh, I see. That's a completely different project that doesn't have an image. Right. Yes, I'm just drinking water, sorry. Reload? Let me try reload. Maybe it hasn't loaded it properly. Aha, interesting. A loading issue? Maybe these are very large images or something? I wonder if that could be the case. But yeah, thanks for telling me to reload. I just realized that on the YouTube stream I can see my I'm just gonna put myself here because my little like channel watermark is on my face. It looks weird. No coffee this evening if I have any hope of sleeping. Laura, I will look out for you next. Okay, so there we go. That answers that. But I still think that having some sort of project description without having to hover is a better idea. Because I look at this and I'm like, right, what did this person do? Interesting. So it seems like here this was a UX project and you designed a mobile app. But what I see without hovering is a logo. So I assume you did the brand design and that's the project that you're showing me. Usually when you're doing like a quick review of a portfolio to decide to move someone on to the next phase or not, you're only going to look at one project, maybe two, if you like still have questions after that one. So I would click on this if you're looking for a product design job because it seems like the most relevant, whereas it seems like this is actually the most relevant. So let's go look at this. UX designer for a movie theater. This layout here, first of all, the phone is squished. Is this a loading issue too? Let's reload. Oh yeah, that's doing some, we don't want to doing that. The image is squished, which to me shows not a great attention to detail. I would maybe just take a look at how that's loading in and make sure that the image aspect ratio isn't changing. And also try and like see if you can get this text out on the page instead of being in the image too. Might be, I mean, you have said you're a WordPress web developer. And so if that's the case, that's like better SEO to have the text on the page instead. Vision, challenges, I like that you laid that out. I'm not sure what this image here is meant to be telling me. Because it doesn't seem like this right here is an interface that's simple and informative, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure. Ooh, is that some sort of, I don't know. Okay, let's scroll on. We want to see, you got some personas, looking at competitors. Yep. So this is like truly how fast I'm scrolling through this is how I would do this in an initial review of a portfolio. I'm just seeing like what content you're sharing with me. Okay, I like that you've called out these things. And then I'm like, oh, do I get to see the app at all? Which I guess I have to click in the slide deck. Oh, I see. This honestly here seems to be a much nicer, well, like more well-designed way of taking through this project. So I don't know if that's something you could try and recreate in your portfolio, is like take inspiration from what you created here to bring that into the portfolio itself. Ah, you wanted to do a GIF. Nice. That would be cool to see something in action. All right, cool. So that's Ahmed. Hope that was useful. I think that there's some work to do on the way you're presenting the work itself. And just like maybe the build of the site needs a bit of work so that it can show your work in its best light, you know? Let's find Laura. Okay, here we go. Laura says... The next Ahmed. Okay, we'll try to find you next Ahmed. Looking to land a design job and also understand how to improve projects so that they'll be good to send to companies. Want to be doing social media content, branding projects, as well as showing the illustrations which focus on the specialty coffee industry. 7 years experience with Phil Bahant's site does not reflect that. At the moment, I'm not able to create my own website. Okay, good to know. I won't give that as advice yet. Also having the issue to understand how many projects I should include to show to the company that's interviewing me. Great questions. Stop trying to make me log in, Google. Jeez. Fine, Adobe, you can have my cookies. Let me just pop out the chat because I feel like I'm not able to see it properly. Put it here so it doesn't distract you all. Laszlo, yes, I will get to you as well for sure. Okay, so Laura looking for social media design and social media content, branding projects. So I see that initially, like this stands out, social media, social media, social media. So that's great. If that's the job you're going for, I think your portfolio, in like first impression, someone can see, yes, this is the correct person I should be looking at to evaluate. I'm going to click on this one because I'm torn between this one and this one as the ones to click into. They're the ones that are standing out most visually to me. Let's go with this one here. So first impression is this is, nice high quality work. It looks like this definitely feels crypto, feels Web3. The style here with the gradients, the colors, the font. Yeah, and all these shapes as well. Looks very cool. I think what's missing here, let me click into another one and see if we can find it. Nice. I can definitely get a sense that you're good at, first of all, adapting your style to the brand style, to be whatever it needs to be, but also creating like a set of images that go nicely together. So that's good. What I think is missing is more about the context, because it can be easy to feel like, when you're laying out a social media image, all you're doing is just like making pretty visuals of the text that someone's given you. But we know that's not the case, right? Like you're solving challenges. The challenges in this one, for example, actually I'm trying to get a sense of what it might be here. Maybe the company is trying to drive ticket signups to an event. Is that what this is? I don't know. But yeah, what is the challenge you're working to in trying to communicate this? Was there any constraints that you had that were difficult to work with? Even like in here, for example, talking about flexing the brand, using all these different color backgrounds, but still making it feel cohesive. That's like not an easy task. So like you should be proud of yourself for doing that and call that out as like that was your goal. Yeah, that would be my advice to you. It's totally fine that you have a Behance portfolio. You don't need your own website to apply for jobs. There is a lot of work on here. I would say that if there's anything in here that you don't feel represents the kind of work you want to do now, maybe remove it. But it all feels pretty cohesive, and I can definitely see you've arranged it so that the most relevant ones are up the top. So I think on this initial review, they're definitely going to see the things you want them to see. The one standout is this one here, I guess, the app design. You didn't say you wanted to do app design, so I'm interested to know why this one is like the first project on the list. Because, I went with the one that caught my eye first, but often people will also click on the very first one on the list too. So yeah. One question, agencies that I worked in the past aren't allowed to share the projects. Oh, yeah, that's tough. Sometimes you can share them like under privately through a private link, or like just show them on a call. But yeah, that is a challenge. Okay, we have a lot of people to get through, don't we? I'm aware that I'm promising people to go next, which I probably shouldn't because I'm going to forget. I'm going to do Laszlo next because I do remember saying your name. By the way, if you enjoy this, we'll do this again sometime. So if your portfolio doesn't get reviewed this time, don't be sad. Okay, here's Laszlo. Laszlo says, by the way, you've probably seen some of Laszlo's work because he edits some of my videos sometimes. Looking to land a design job, get more freelance clients, and grow audience reputation as a designer. Okay, here's the PDF version of my graphic design and brand illustration portfolio, putting it to the job hunting. Okay, then specifically says, I'm looking to land an in-house graphic design position in the new year. Cool. And specifically Laszlo's asking, is this too much, everything I'm showing, like wanting to mention video editing and things that I do too? I like to try myself in many different creative things though. Okay. Good, Alyssa, I'm glad you're enjoying this. Right, let's dive in. I will say, Laszlo, that my eye is not quite sure where to focus on this first slide. There's like, this is drawing a lot of attention, so is this. So that just might be one thing to be aware of, and to have like a clear heading. Like these things I feel like should honestly maybe even be smaller. Oh, these are links, I see. It's also, this font is a little bit hard to read, like read long text with. So just be aware of that. I'd maybe recommend you changing that out, because if you're going for graphic design jobs, selecting the right font for the right occasion, and making things like readable and consumable is obviously a super important part of the job. And I think you've chosen this because it's what you're using for your brand. But yeah, I would maybe go with a different one here just for readability. Okay, so then we scroll through. Again, there's a lot happening on the page, and so my eye isn't sure where to focus. Do you need to put all this on one slide, is my question. Because it seems like you're doing like one slide per project, which is, if you're constrained, like if a company said you can only submit this many slides or show this many slides, then maybe that would be why. But in that case, even still, I would probably pick just a couple of projects to go into, because I don't think you're letting each project speak for itself, I guess. It's a little hard to read right-aligned text, and it's also all in the all caps font, so it's not super skimmable for me, which is what I'm doing as I, do quick reviews of things. So I would maybe, at least for your favorite projects, like the top projects that you're most proud of, that you feel are most relevant to the type of work you want to get, pick them to like do an introduction with maybe one visual and an explanation of the problem you were solving, and how you went about it, like, sharing the stuff that you're sharing here, and then show and like highlight a few details about the designs you created to solve that problem. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, like this here, like this could be one slide talking about the wireframing process, and then another one to talk about the design process. This one in particular, I really feel like it's hard to focus my eye somewhere. I also don't know what a scamp is. What is a scamp? There is a lot of work in here. Let me get to the end because I know you talked about, you know, how much stuff to put in. Logo. So I'm guessing this is just logos you've designed. I don't know if it's necessary to even show these. If you've shown logos in process here, it's like we know you can do logos. You do definitely get a sense from this that you're like a generalist. You've got a lot of skills you can apply to things though. I think because this is being presented in the same way as your design work, in a way it feels like you designed the class, like this page, you know what I mean? So maybe if you shift up the design of these sections, because I know you asked if you should include them, format them a little bit differently so we're aware of like this being your other initiatives, like the other activities you do in the design world, because it is valuable, the fact that you also teach design. I know that I've heard from folks in the past that that's why I got hired somewhere, is because they saw that I was teaching others how to do design, which made them more confident in my own skills. So yeah, it is good to include them, but just don't format them like you have done the design projects. I hope that's useful. Okay, who is next? I saw someone recommending someone up there before. Claire E. I found Claire E. Please don't feel like you're annoying if every time I'm like, who's next, if you say me, because it does actually help. Okay, so Claire says, looking to land a design job, get more freelance clients, grow my audience reputation as a designer, and graphic design in the advertising industry is the details Claire has given us. Okay, so we got another Behance portfolio, and what did you say? Graphic design in the advertising industry. Okay. I feel like I do get a sense of advertising from these ones here, but I'm not sure what these are showing us, so this is interesting. Let's click into this one here and see what detail we get. Okay, so we know immediately it's client work. I think I'm going to end up giving the same feedback that I gave to, was it Laura? Oh, this is nice. This is kind of nice, this like bit of personality that you've included in here. Okay, cool. You're showing a little bit about how you concepted. I like this. This makes me laugh, and like you're not taking yourself too seriously. I really like that. I think that's a nice touch. But yeah, I want to know more about what the client asked of you. Like, what was your directive? What were you trying to achieve with these things? Because that's how we get to understand and like make a judgment ourselves as a hiring manager or like a client looking to hire someone, how successful your design was. If we know what you're aiming for, we can look at it and say, oh yeah, I see how they got to this conclusion. Yeah, so that's what I would say. But you're showing a lot of range here, and I think I saw over here that this is photo manipulation, so clearly you're a going to be a Photoshop expert when I need something like that done, so that's great. But just more details, more explaining what you are aiming for with the work, so that we can know that you reached it. This I think is getting a little bit too too personal, not too personal, I don't know what I mean, too casual. Yeah, I think just a little bit too casual, like apologizing in your own portfolio is not necessary. That's one thing I'll note. But yeah, keep it up. I think that I definitely see you specializing in that graphic design for advertising niche, so that's great. But just share more details and maybe pick just one or two favorite ones to go into there. Okay, the other Ahmed. Wait, let me just mark Claire as done so I remember. Trying to count up how many we get to in this session. I found you. Ooh, okay, so I'm already seeing something interesting there. Let's look at Ahmed's details first. So, wants to land a design job or get more freelance clients. Ooh, yeah, okay. And it's also very helpful to have a co-working club member call out ones to pay attention to because your names appear differently in the chat. So, like, my eye is drawn to them. Thanks, Asaro. Ahmed says, I want to do product design work. I'm a self-taught product designer. Spent about 2 years learning and 1 year freelancing. Okay, so you're trying to land a product design job with this portfolio. So I will say, I think this animation is fun. It instantly, like, I think if I was reviewing a lot in a row, which I am kind of doing right now, this catches your eye and you're like, oh, something different. It is a bit odd that the let's is so far off to this side. And I'm also not quite sure what it means, if that makes sense. Dive and design the other side. What other side? Let's see. What does it say? I can't scroll down. Oh, I can scroll down. We might have gone a little bit overboard with the animations here. I will say that. I think this moving with the cursor is nice, but then as you start to scroll and we're doing some scroll jacking, I'm like, what's happening? It's feeling very slow to get through the portfolio, and also seems to be hard to like stop at the right point, as you just saw then. Yeah, I had to scroll, like, as you can see here on my, I'm like pointing at my screen like you can see it. I'm like halfway down the page before we get to this information. Okay, right. Is this a Webflow? I see this and I'm like, they went a little bit nuts in Webflow. And I'm also feeling by this point like I want to see the work. Like, how do I get into the work? Okay, here we go, finally. But like there was no navigation link to do that, which would have been nice. And it seems like I have to like fight to get to the work. Which I don't know if you want to make that difficult for people. Oh, okay, then we go off to a Behance. Let me just scroll to the end of this because I am interested to see. I am definitely getting the sense from your copy that you are a freelancer, so that's great. If that's what you want to aim for, though you did say you were also interested in landing a design job. I don't think the way you've sort of hidden the work will be beneficial for you in either case, for a design job or for landing clients. But the copy you've written seems good, you know? Like you're answering clients' questions before they can ask them, which is a nice touch. I think this concept as well of the like diving in is a good one to continue with. Just like, let's pull back on the Webflow animations some. This form as well is feeling like a little bit small, the form fields. And then the button is extra large. So just watch out for that. Yeah, keep the concept of diving deep. I like having the background change color as we go as well, like as you get deeper into the site. But I don't think we need as many animations. It's just a little bit long to scroll through for a client or for a hiring employer. Keep, like, how about we keep one feature animation thing in the header here, because this is kind of fun. But then as soon as I scroll down, it's like just beats normal. Yeah. Hope that was useful, Ahmed. Yeah, the color changing is nice. I do like the color changing. Yeah. Okay, right on and going for the folks Asaro called out first. Here we go. First we're going Jennifer. So, wait on, did I forget to mark Ahmed off? Here we go. Jennifer wants to land a design job. I have 21 years in graphic design. Amazing. Having designed both the print and digital materials, worked in marketing, branding, just overall graphic design. Wondering if my number of years of experience is hindrance to getting hired. Ooh, that's an interesting question. What are your thoughts on that? Oh shoot, hang on, wait a second. Seb's eating my hoodie over here. Seb, stop it. Come say hi to people. Seb never quite liked being in the live streams as much as Nora did, but here he is, needing some entertainment. What do you think of Jennifer's portfolio? He's like, let me go. There we go. Okay, back to it. What was I reading? Oh yeah, okay. Let's see. So we're going to first look at and see if Jennifer calls out on the site the years of experience thing. It's interesting that the largest thing I see on screen here is resume. I'm assuming it's saying resume, or is it saying resume? And like it's the title of a project. Oh yeah, it is a resume, I see. 7 minutes, few seconds of fame, yep. He'll have more, he's got lots in this vlog that I have coming up. Yeah, first thing, I would replace this with like some sort of overarching header or like title about yourself as a designer. Definitely mentioning graphic design, like the type of work you do. And if I was doing my like initial review of a portfolio, I probably wouldn't watch the video as well, just so you know that too. Oops. And then I just clicked on that and now I'm somewhere else. Wait, how do I go back? Oh, I see. Interesting. Nope. That was odd. I'm not sure why I need to click in to view that, because it actually ends up being viewed at a smaller size than it is here. Could you lay this information out on the page, I wonder? I don't know. Could be an idea. I think, well, yeah, okay. Let me put myself back in my like reviewing portfolios realm. I definitely want to see the work first. So we're going to click on portfolio. Okay. First impression is there's a lot going on here. Okay, we've got logo design, invitations, postcards. Let's click into this one. Okay, so I see we've done just like a group example of lots of different flyers and things like that. I don't know if this one is the strongest one to call out on the front there, to be honest. Ooh. Let me go back. Which one would I say? Maybe this one. I think this one is got a little bit more white space to it. Yeah, so I'd maybe put that one first. But I'm also curious to know, wait on, what did you say you're looking to do again? Landed design job. And this all feels more like freelancer work, although there you've got two of the same company, so that's interesting. I wonder... Okay, hang on. You've said... I don't think it really matters where you created them, to be honest. I think I said this for someone else's portfolio before. The tool itself matters less. Like, I started to read... I created graphics and then... Oh, in Photoshop. You're just telling me about the tool. What was the reason for creating them? You know, what were you trying to get the... viewer to do as a result of it? That's something that I think would be better to share instead. I also am seeing now... I'm not quite sure why we've got these big blue and white triangles on the backgrounds. Because this doesn't seem to be part of the design. It seems like you've shown the design on top of them. It's hard to see the design in detail. And this is like competing with them, the background. So I would definitely recommend you remove that. Oh. Okay, here's what I think that you should do, Jennifer, is, well, first of all, like we said, have some sort of header on... Wait, can I not get back to your homepage? Nope, I don't know how to get back there. Okay. Some sort of header on your homepage that says what type of designer you are. And then instead of arranging your work like this, I wonder if you could pick a couple of either jobs you've had or clients you've had, that you can show like, here's what I did for this company and how I like created consistency between the presentations, the packaging, the flyers, whatever. Because right now I feel like your work is aiming more towards freelancing because it's showing a client, these are all the different things I can do for you. Instead of showing a company, hey, if I'm a graphic designer at your company, here's how I'll manage the work across all of these things. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Please let me know in the chat if that doesn't make sense as a piece of feedback. But yeah. Have we got someone spamming, do we, Osaro? Thanks for getting onto that. I really need to get some more mods, don't I? I'll ask Osaro later privately if I can make you a moderator. Okay. Who next? I want to go for... Wait on. Let's make sure that I've marked this off my list. Alyssa, I'm seeing your name, so we're going to find you in my sheet. Ooh, okay, yes, we definitely want to go for Alyssa because Alyssa's going after something different. That's exciting. Okay, Alyssa says, I'm looking to get a design internship. That's exciting. I'm interested in product design, UI, UX web design with a bit of graphic design. Hoping to land an internship over the summer in my last year of university, so I have a ton of big projects and I'm still exploring different areas of design. Great. Oops, hang on, what did I just do? That was me. How did I just... Hang on. Let's try again. It's because I don't want to like bring up my whole spreadsheet on this computer. Okay, looking for a design internship. First impressions is this site design looks nice and simple. Like I think the design of your site is quality, which is nice. Love this little illustration. Love the yellow background behind the heading that makes something a little bit different. And I see we've got tabs here where I'm assuming I'm going to click this and projects are going to filter. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe I need to turn my mic up. Can you hear the hopeful song in the background? It's been a while, huh? What am I missing in the chat, by the way? Paul said... Oh, about having a resume on a portfolio? Let's just answer this briefly. Can a CV stop employers contacting you even if they like your work? I don't think it would stop them from contacting you. But it's usually the first thing they'll look at. Like if they're looking for some sort of experience, like experience working in a certain industry, experience in a certain role, the CV will be the thing they look at first to see if you check that box before looking at your work, if that makes sense. Usually, anyway. I mean, every company is different. Okay, back to Alyssa. Cool, so that is working as I expected, which is nice. We always like when things work as expected. So this is Spotify, and I'm like, because I know that Alyssa said looking for a design internship, I'm going to guess that Alyssa didn't really work at Spotify yet, unless it was another internship there. There we go, and we say here as part of an academic UI UX project. Okay, Osara, I'm going to make you a moderator right now then. Thank you, I appreciate you. You're here every stream, and so, yeah. Don't feel pressured, but thank you. Okay, we were talking about project goals. I like that you say it's an academic... Okay, it's been a while. I've been talking for nearly an hour, okay? I like that you say it's part of an academic project. I nearly said it wrong again. That's good to call out. I think sometimes people can feel like they have to hide the fact that it was like a self-driven project. And yeah, that's not the case. Cool. I like that you've laid these out. I feel like it's easy for me to skim because, like I said, I do skim. Nice. And I like that here you're showing that how you can work within an existing design system. That's a smart idea too. Because sometimes with these sort of unsolicited redesigns, we come in and think, oh, well, if I did the Spotify brand, I would do this instead, when that's just not realistic and what you would do in a real company, you know. Cool. Ooh, well, here's one thing to note, Alyssa. Something seems to be up with the footer. Just take a look at that. But that wouldn't stop me from contacting you or anything like that. I think this seems like a very, very strong student work case study. I would also like some way to get back to the main page, which I'm going to guess I click here. There we go. Let's click in here. Cool. And like, yeah, here again, you said it was a hackathon. I think you're off to a great start, Alyssa. This is my overall impression of your portfolio. You're telling a story here through laying out the case study. You're showing your work. You're showing examples. You're also not giving too much information, which is nice. I think if this was a real world project, you would have more information to give, right? Like you'd have more results to share and stakeholder feedback, things like that. But yeah, we don't need to invent that for the solo work. And I know Figma's taken a while here, but I like that you've included the prototype as well. So yeah, great work, Alyssa. Okay. Sarah did call out someone to be next. Let's see, who are we going to get next? We're going to go for Sadia. Tell me if I'm saying your name correctly. You put Sadia in the form, which I did ask, what should I call you? So I should just use that, I guess. Okay, looking to land a design job and also get more freelance clients. I would love to work with up and coming brands in design of branding and brand identity. Want to either work in an agency and progress in creative director position or try and build my own small design business. Okay, cool. So you're like open to going either way. Industry, probably beauty and health. Nice. Okay, let's take a look. So if you've said you want to progress to being creative director, and I love that you've put that on your portfolio, just like fucking own that title. This is kind of nice too, like a nice little bit of personality. Not too much, and it's just, yeah, it's just in there. Okay. What type of work did you say you wanted to do? Branding and brand identity. Yep. Cool. So once more, I want to say I'd prefer if you had titles like out on screen instead of making me hover to see what something is. That's just always preferable and makes for a bit of UX on if someone's reviewing on an iPad or something as well. Although, let's be honest, if it's applying for a job, they're most likely going to be on a desktop. But yeah, who knows? I'm going to look at this one here. I really like this product image that you've mocked up. A gift collection made for the Muslim community. By good thoughts, remembrance, tough times. Nice. This is a oh, so this is a product that you yourself created and put up for sale, I'm guessing, which is really cool. I think you should make that a little bit more obvious. I also would love to see more details. Like, how can I see some of the cards? I guess maybe you also don't want to give them all away. Give away what's on all of them because you sell the pack. But yeah, I would say that, and like, what design decisions did you make in these cards to help them serve the purpose of like inspiring the good thoughts and remembrance of religion, like you called out. What should we go to next? I want to go to this one because you said beauty and health. So okay, so there seem to bring quality and luxury to their customers. See, I can't remember what portfolio it was before where I was saying we just need a bit of context in order to know, like, be able to judge if the design is living up to it. And I think that this is a good example of you saying quality and luxury. I'm like, okay, so that's the like vibe we're aiming for with the packaging. Cristiano, I do think this font is potentially a bit too small. I also think I have my iMac set to the more space option because I just like to make, my screen have as much space as possible. But yeah, good point. Very good point. Potentially. Logo update font. WhatsApp content. I'm like, ooh, what's that? Yeah, I think as we see more text, that it could definitely be bigger. And this product image as well, there's a lot of negative space, which is great, but also it means that I can't really see the details of what you've designed. So, yeah, I would keep that in mind. And maybe, like, I know this looks nice as an image to have it mocked up like this, but zoom in on it a bit more and have it show on the site at about like this resolution perhaps instead of this like it is now, so that we can just see the details a little bit more. Thanks for joining, Laura. Glad we got to your portfolio. Let me remind myself. Branding and identity design. I want to go back to the homepage. I don't know if I see branding and identity here as standing out to me as something that you're strong in. Like, you're not showing me that that's what you do. So yeah, that maybe is another piece of advice, and that you could have perhaps this first project be like branding for whatever company, rather than like maybe in here you've gathered a bunch of graphic design work. Usually this sort of what's the word for it? Like a group of stuff, like it's not one particular project, it's all grouped into one. Comes later in the portfolio, and you lead with a couple of strong like single case study examples. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to I want to go to Cristiano next, because I saw you say at the very beginning, Cristiano, can you review mine? And you're still here hanging out in the chat, so I really appreciate that. Let's come over here. Right. Cristiano says, looking to land a design job, wants to be a product design at an international company. We love it. I'm a designer bridging the gap between product and system design. See, this is a great example of like a leading with a, I guess this is like a personal statement or something. Yeah. This is a really great thing to lead with, and I think other people can learn from this. I also think that the portfolio itself, I'm like, oh, this is nice. We got lots of nice and negative space. This image feels like nice and airy. So yeah, I think this is a strong start to the portfolio. Let's see. Case studies is a selection. Projects in which I played a major role and I'm very proud of. I like it. I really like this image. Is definitely standing out to me the most. I think this is a nice mock-up here. And so I'm going to click into this one first. Researching delivery workers. Cool. This is a great example of describing the project. Oh, and then it says work in progress. Well, I would have liked to read more about this one, that's for sure. Because it definitely caught my eye first. You have to let me know when that one's up. Let's go into here instead. Okay, this one does have some. This is a nice touch, this read. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen this on a portfolio, to be honest. I feel like this is normally something that's on like a blog post or something. So yeah, I kind of like that. I think that's a really nice touch. Slow TV, interesting. Whoa. I feel like I'm wanting to see some more headings throughout this, or I guess this is all to do with research, so. It's a lot on the research side, although what have you said you want to work for? Product design? Yeah, I mean, product design does lean more into research. I don't know if it's necessary to show the mood board in this way. No, I guess it's fine. Ooh, this is nice. Maybe a little bit too much detail in this case study. But that's just for me from a skimming perspective. Like, I'm sure if you're at the later stages in the project, that, yeah, people would definitely want to see more detail. We're talking about databases. So now I'm at a point where I'm like, I just want to see what the finished design looks like. Okay, here we go. Escapista. I see. So it really is like a whole project, which is cool. I would have liked to see more of the design. Yeah, as part of this. But that's cool. I think it's a strong example of a piece of work of you going through and like owning the product side of the process. Nice. I just want to keep scrolling a little bit and see what happens down here. This is great. Instantly, when I see, okay, someone's a speaker and also they've got this long list of speaking engagements, I'm like instantly putting you into senior, right? Whether that's true or not, or whether that's like the right judgment call to make or not, or whatever. But yeah, I think that's a great thing to include on your portfolio. Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to seeing this one finished, because I think it's really, that's a cool project. Yeah, great idea. Yeah, start with where you finished and then explain how you got there. You did have one image at the top, but yeah, a few more details of the design at the start would be great. Since you are so nicely, Richard, you can be next. Okay. I know, right? I'm just gonna like leave this on my screen because it is such a nice aesthetic hero image. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Cristiano. Okay, Richard is looking to get more freelance clients. What was the answer for more context is anything. I love creating almost everything. Oh, cool. Emily's going to hire you because there's a dog. Great. Let's take a look. We're in creative director and art director. This is nice too. A nice little touch of personality. We see the dog too. Creative personal intro about me experience. I don't know how I feel. I'm just going to go back here about the fact that you're forcing me to make a choice to go somewhere next. I think I like it. I think it works. But my intention, like my first reaction was to start scrolling, and then obviously there's nothing to scroll. So now we're going to click on creative. So I definitely see that you've done more like my assumption is that you've worked on like advertising things from what I see here. And so we'll keep scrolling and see if that becomes true. Okay. I think I would like to see a description under this creative of like, what types of projects do you work on, you know, before making me click on it? And like, what do you do for those projects? I'm going to click on this one and see. Broadcast television. Right. So like saying you create television commercials, that would be great. Right. Promoting the film festival. I see. Cool. I think you set that up well. And that, I mean, this is a design portfolio review, so I wouldn't, if you were applying for a design job, I wouldn't go in and watch those films. Oh, also, did you see there? I clicked the back button instinctively to go find more. But oh, this is interesting. Okay, let's click on here then. And see here you have quite a different type of creative work. So I think it's going to be really important for you to have some sort of categories, or like instead of just naming the company, include what you worked on for them as well. Because you did say, or you said freelance clients, but still, I think even freelance clients are looking for a certain thing done, right? And so by making it easy for them to find the example that lines up with the type of work they want you to do, yeah, that's the best thing. Social media, Cool. You got a lot of video stuff, huh? I'd love to hear how it went. Like, what was the result of this project? You said they were a growing company. Did what you created help them grow? Let's just look at one more. Whenever I think of eHarmony, I think of, did you see that cat, the eHarmony cat girl from like many years ago? We're talking like 9 years ago. Yeah. And Telpa, I do not agree that we should think that design and art is separate. That's one thing I'll say. Ooh, yeah, okay. Wicked stale and offer driven. Nice. Okay. So yeah, this one in particular, I'd love to hear, like, what was the brand shift? Did the brand do any measuring before and after? Oh, here we go. Now you're showing some print stuff too. This is cool to see, like, how the video image, like visuals then translate to static is nice. Oh, this is a cute concept. Nice. This is a really strong example, I think, because it's showing, what's the word for it? I'm losing my brain at the moment. Cross-platform, is that the word I'm looking for? Applications of the brand and things. That's really nice. And yeah, following up with what some of the results are would be awesome. Oh, boo, Emily, that sucks. Okay, we'll do you next. Emily. Don't like hearing someone giving a rude rejection. I hope no one's feeling like I'm giving a rude portfolio review. That's never my intention. I forgot to say at the start, but like, I'm going to be totally honest in these reviews. You know, I'm not going to rave about something if I don't like it, and I truly want to help you, so that I know that there's no point in like glossing over things that I see as issues. Oh, bull. Love that. Okay. So Emily wants to land a design job and grow audience and reputation as a designer in web design or graphic design. So instantly fucking love the header. This is again super eye-catching, and this isn't a case where I think it was Entalpa before was talking about design and art. Like, there is a side of design that is art, and it is subjective, especially when we talk about web and graphic design. And this is just very visually appealing to me. I love the gradient of colors. I love the font you've chosen. I instantly think, though, that you're more of an artist than a designer. So that is one thing to note. Yeah, maybe you want to have some sort of note on here, because you said this is to land a design job and grow your reputation as a designer. And being an artist is different from being a designer. But yeah, let's continue. Your work. This is nice. I like the little animations too. It's a nice touch. See, I feel like I read this and I'm still not sure if I clicked this. What would we be collabing on? Is it design? Is it art? Logos, I guess. Oh, cool. You got a show reel and that's like presented. I want to see what this does on. Nice. Look at that. How it stacks underneath. That's a very nice touch. And you know that anyone hiring for a web design job is going to do a shrinky collapsy thing on your portfolio. This is a nice little thing here too. Okay, future projects. So we've got some things cutting off here. Is that because I loaded it at one size and then shrunk it? I don't know. Let's try refresh. that makes sense, Emily. Wait, the buttons on the TV work? I don't think they're working for me. Or are they? Is that what it's meant to do? Oh yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah. Right, let's click into this one here. This one here is visually eye-catching to me, but this one here I'm like, if I'm hiring for like web design kind of role, then this is what I'm more going to click on. This is interesting. I'm not sure why we need the heading to... it's doing a repeating scroll. That is kind of nice. But I'd maybe want to make sure that we see the whole thing in one place. Services. Cool. So when I see like built with Webflow, I'm like, did you design it as well as build it? See, this is a great example of describing a design choice. Cool. Okay. So yeah, I'm reading this. I'm like, oh yeah, Emily definitely designed it. Yeah, something is up with the proportions on my screen, isn't it? I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I did reload. Yeah, we love seeing numbers. Okay. See, even if this isn't a number from a result that you drove, the fact that you're paying attention to data is strong. Cool. Yeah, I think, I don't know if it's my browser or screen size or operating system or what. This is pleasing, by the way. I'm just going to sit here and scroll this a little bit right now. But yeah, check out the proportions on the images up here weren't quite showing right, which made it a little bit hard to view. But I love this overall structure of your portfolio. Like, I guess what I'm saying is that I would definitely be interested in hearing more if we're putting hiring manager hat on. It seems super creative. Yeah, I just think it's good to be careful when you go for a much more creative portfolio design like this. You gotta still make sure that it functions well as well. Yeah. So I would definitely prioritize taking a look at that. Maybe it's just my computer. See if you can get some friends to take a look at it as well and see if they can spot it. Now I kind of just want to click through other pages to see what other things you've designed. And yeah, here we go. Because they all have cool headings and like all these cool touches. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay, who's next? Honestly, this is a game of luck because it's whoever I see in the chat after finishing up someone's portfolio. I saw Ion's name, but I now cannot find you in the sheet. Because remember, I'm searching for your YouTube username in the sheet. Okay, we're going to go with Matt. Let me see if I can find Matt. Found you. And then we'll try to get to you next, Wesley. Okay, Matt's got a Webflow site. Here we go. Here we go. I love the colors on yours as well, Emily. It's just very nice. Okay, Matt is wanting to land a design job. Says, hi Charlie, I've been working for an e-commerce agency for the past 10 years where my job role has been pretty broad. Design for engineering management. Wanting something new. No longer wants to work in e-commerce. Okay, that's helpful context. Preferring to work in-house for a large organization where I can specialize. Leaning towards UI and design systems rather than UX. Skimming. Okay, interesting. Been having more success in the visual design and broader UI design roles, but wanting more product design, systems design. That's what I get from that. I like the highlighting of words. So like I see Matt, I see user-centered design. So that's some good like subliminal messaging that you did there. Ooh, is this going to be like some sort of free file that you give away? What's interesting in your... So I know I can scroll, but I like, just because I'm calling out things that I'm like, I was expecting there to be a link to like your work here as well. Yeah, I know I can scroll for it, but this like your key CTAs are to this thing that doesn't exist yet and to download your CV. So that's interesting. I like these little tag things. This is nice, I think, because it's a very like product design touch to have little tags like this. And so yeah, that's nice to include. It would be even cooler if I could like sort by this to see all of your front-end engineering work, for example. But we'll click into this one because it's the first project. And this is a nice, I like the header. It's well laid out. And yeah, I'm seeing quality, so now I dig in to look for more. I like that you took the time to like composite this image as well. Don't know if it's necessary to have such a large photo of the founders like taking up valuable scroll space in your portfolio, right? Because you're wanting to like keep the hiring manager's attention for as long as possible as they're going through. So here I'm like, were you part of like, you said this was before the relaunch, or that they had achieved all this stuff. Were you part of working on it before the relaunch? Because I'm getting the impression that you came in for the relaunch. Cool. Problems, goals, clearly laid out. Whenever I see something like this in a portfolio, I'm like, yeah, everyone's design process is like pretty similar. You know, people have their own way of working, but I don't know if we need to see a diagram each time. I know that product designers always do this though, and so keep in mind I'm not a product designer and I'm not a hiring manager for product design roles. Ah, I see. I like how you're relating it now into sections, I'm assuming, in your portfolio though too. Okay. This caught my eye as I was scrolling. I was like trying to get into something that I wanted to like pause on. And this, looking at a before and after, I'm like, okay, this is nice. And this is very clearly laid out the problems with this one and then the solutions that you went for. I think that's great. Yeah, this is nice. Showing what was happening and what you did to solve it. And calling out, specific components like the mega menu. I think that's a good touch. I wonder if you could shorten all the bits that came sort of before this a little bit. It could even be just as simple as shrinking the visual space they're taking up, you know, with all these large images here of like people and things. Just so that people don't feel like they're scrolling for a while before they get to this example of, because this is a clear example of some impact you had, on the content and how it's displaying. And now I'm looking to see, because you called out some of their accolades before. Cool. Okay, this is great. This is fantastic. Being able to say what happened as a result of it. That's what I was wanting to see. That's what I was hoping for, and you delivered. Ah, interesting. And now you've included a retrospective. Yeah, I think in general it's a little bit long, this case study. No, I don't think one scroll, Hans. That's a bit too short. Well, it depends on how long this scroll is, right? But this one does feel a little bit long. But there's lots of good stuff in here, though. So you've got a great like space to start with, Matt. I hope that was useful. Okay. Who is next? I think we've got time for, wow, I've been going for a while. Let's do just 2 more, and then everyone else is going to, unfortunately, have to wait till next time. I'm going to go for Wesley because I saw you ask before. Okay. So Wesley says, we'll answer this question from Hans quickly first. I'm looking for an internship. How many case studies should I have? For an internship, I wouldn't expect you to have much work at all, because that's like, an internship is where you get the work. Having 1 solid case study will be great. 2, even better, but I don't think you need any more than that for sure. Okay, so Wesley is looking to land a design job and get more freelance clients. Just started my own company, wanting to get more logo and branding projects. And in the chat, Wesley is saying, I just moved country 2 months ago, started my own studio. Never really did much logo design, but want to start specializing on logo and branding. Interesting. Okay, so you're sort of like making a shift there. Oh, I don't know what this, we're just going to go across. We create logos, brand designs, illustrations, and websites. Okay. And I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind that you're a designer. That's for sure. This is a nice moody image. Like it's sort of like the opposite of, was it Cristiano's portfolio we were looking at before with the like bright, airy hero image? This is a nice moody one. I'm curious, you're saying we, but then there's a photo of just you. Do you work with other freelancers or something? That would be a question that I have. This made me laugh. Ooh. I see a skate company, I click. Okay. Skate company for a startup based in Miami. Because you say you want to do more logo design, I feel like starting off with a bit more logo process would be good. Like, how did you reach this solution? What were you trying to convey with it? It is a really cool mark. I'm going to go back to your main page though, because I'm aware that I just randomly clicked on something, and perhaps I know that sometimes we have like more in-depth case studies as our first pieces of work. Let's click on this one. There's an interesting mix of languages going on here. I don't know if that's something to do with the language switcher not working, or is it if it's my region screwing things up because I'm in Spain. This is a nice scene setting here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now I'm seeing that is a pattern that we're not seeing a lot of process from you, which is fine. Like I think we can have a balance between the case study that we just saw that was like a little bit longer, and then this here where we're just showing the final images. I think that seeing a little bit about why you made the choices you made is a good idea. Although, yeah, you've said get more freelance clients, but also land a design job. Oh, nice. I just saw that the image is changing. Nice imagery. This is funny because like the only context we get for the project is this. Little more context would be good here. Like what you had for the others of like what the goals were, or like what the deliverables were. Sorry, is what you had. Yeah, the we is feeling like, I don't know why we feel as designers, and I'm saying we as in like we collectively, to need to act like we're more people than we are. Because I look at this and I'm like, I feel like this is just you, but you're trying to make it sound like there's more people, which is not a bad thing. But also, like, you don't need to worry about it being just you. I think it's great that you've done this work by yourself, if that's the case. But yeah, nice work, Wesley. I think that your portfolio's easy to navigate around, and there's a lot of high quality looking work in here. This is really nice, this header changing color as well. Okay, we've got one more that we're going to do. Who is going to get the last spot? Let's see. Mariana, you're going to get the last spot. If I can find you in here. Found you. Okay. And I promise we'll do this again sometime, so don't worry if you didn't get picked. And also it's like not a reflection on you if you didn't get picked, because I didn't know who you were until I clicked on the portfolio. I've lost Mariana's name in my thing to read your little description. Seems we had a few Marianas. I hope I clicked on the right one. Okay, looking to land a design job and grow audience reputation. I'm a graphic designer who started working in UI UX earlier this year. Want to keep learning and developing my skills in UX to hopefully get a job in Europe in 2023. We love it. Okay, so first of all, my first impressions, Mariana, is to say that if you're going after UX, UI jobs, I mostly see more graphic design jobs in here. So unless someone was hiring for like a entry level, which you might be fine with, honestly, UX design role, you probably wouldn't be moved forward in the process because of the balance that we see here. Like, it's okay to show other projects. It's just that we see more graphic design than we do UI UX design type work. So that would be one thing to note, is maybe drop some of the graphic design stuff, or of course add more UI UX stuff if you can. But I know you said you just started earlier this year, so it's completely understandable that you don't have it all yet. And I'm going to click into this one here. I think you're right, Osaro. We might have to come up with a better system. Maybe some sort of like randomizer that takes the spreadsheet and just like spits one up on the screen. I don't know. Okay, so wait, I can't remember who's Behance before. I was saying they can add more case study details. I think this is an example of how you can do that on Behance by uploading it as an image, essentially, right? Nice, you're showing me the sitemap. Okay, so what I would say to improve this case study, and like, I would spend more time pointing out the design decisions you made and like why the design ended up looking like this, why the UX is like this, rather than showing the mood board, showing a persona. I think it's much more important for us to understand how you make decisions, and that like this ended up here with showing a little bit to the sides so that users know there's more content to swipe through. Like that sort of thing, pointing out those little details can really help express the way you think about things, because that's process too, right? That's process as much as the persona and the wireframes and things like that are. So yeah, that would be my advice here, but you've made good use of Behance in showing this stuff. I think that's really important to have in there. Yeah, keep it up. Keep producing more work so that you have more UX stuff in your portfolio. I hope that was useful. We are going to go back to just camera now. How many did we get through? I don't know. I wasn't counting properly as we went, but I think my spreadsheet looks about half green. I don't know. Yeah. We did a lot. I'm sorry if we didn't get to you this time, but my voice is going and I need to break now and go pay attention to Seb. Chloe, I don't know exactly when the next one will be. I might potentially do one in January when I'm in New Zealand. I'm going to New Zealand in like this time in 2 weeks, I'll be on a plane, basically, heading there. And it's hard to do a lot of work live streams while I'm there because I don't have my iMac, I don't have my second monitor, my camera, my microphone, all of that. But it might be fun to try and do a portfolio review while I'm there. No promises. So if not, the next one will be in February when I'm back here in the space. Next year, I want to get more regular with the live streams. I want to make sure I'm doing one at least monthly, if not like every 2 weeks, showing up. And if I'm working on an actual design project that I can share, then every week as I have a block to work on it, like the habit that I got into earlier this year. Because yeah, I love these streams. It's so fun to hang out with you all in the chat. I feel like I didn't get to read the chat as much this time because I was focusing on reviewing the portfolio. So thanks, Asaro, for jumping in to moderate there. But yeah, Co-working Club, we back, we out here. And yeah, I appreciate you all showing up and hanging out with me. This has been really fun. Hope you all have a good evening or rest of your day, depending on where you are in the world. I'm going to go watch an episode of Wednesday on Netflix now. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. All right. Have a good rest of your day, y'all. Bye.